Los demás, Moreno, Malkinu Abinu, we ask to approach your throne. Please, O great King, forgive us for all uncleanness, whether it be spiritual, physical, or mental. Tarabah for another day of life. Tarabah for another day of bringing us together to serve you. Tarabah for another day of giving us a desire to learn, giving us a desire to be complete as a people. Right now, we're not complete, but we ask that you continue to lead us down the path of righteousness, lead us down the path of oneness, lead us down the path of being strong and obedient. Only you can allow that. Only you can complete that. But we must want it and desire it amongst ourselves. And we thank you for those of us that's here, those of us that's not here that has that desire and want to continue to do so. We ask that you continue to look after those that are less fortunate, those that call on your name each and every day, those that might want to and might not be capable of it. We thank you for those because those are the ones that keep your interests in us. Those are the ones that continue to create that opportunity that our forefathers and our foremothers had that kept your interests, the remnant. We ask to please you. We ask that we are those remnant. And we ask that if we aren't those remnant, that we do what it takes to become that. We bless your name. We ask that you forgive us for any sins that we may have committed unknowingly. We ask that you continue to forgive us for those sins that we are working on, if any. Bless your name. Bless your rulership. We will continue to serve you. We will continue to do what it takes to be in your good graces. Please continue to bring Israel together. We are lost people and we can't do anything without you. We have tried. A lot of us have did things in our own eyes, and we want to make sure we're aligning to your will. Glorify your name. You are worthy to be praised. We ask all these things in your name. If it's anything that I forgot, please forgive me. Haluet HaKoach Haniski. Praise the eternal power.
Hallelujah.
All right, Moray. You got to open that one up now. Aniski? Mise Aniski. Little Benny.
Are
Rosh
you? Go ahead, I'm listening.
Aniski. Little Benniski.
The eternal power. So when I say halu, that's plural. Of course, you all know hallelujah, people say. But halu, it is a direct marker pointing to hakoach, power, haniski, eternal.
Anif.
Hanitzi, so you have a noon.
Hanitzi. I like that. I didn't know that one. Hanitzi. I like that. Gonna remind me of that word from time to time, all right?
So for those that don't know, it's a noon, haniski, a noon, a tzade, a chet, and a yod. So ha-nitzki. But when you put it together with power, ha-koach ha-nitzki, the eternal power.
Maze tet.
The et?
At the end, the tet. Hanifki. Hanifkit. Why tet?
Oh, the chet.
That's feminine. Why? Oh, that's you. No, it's feminine. Hanisket.
The feminine, to say eternal?
Yes, eternal.
Yeah, I say ha-nitzki.
Oh, spell it again.
So you have the hey, you have the noon, sade, a chet, and a yod.
Oh, okay, ket and yod. Okay.
And Beya?
That's my eternal then.
Okay.
Okay, total. I like that, man. Like if I ask you that word again, whenever I say, hey, what's that word again? Just hit me so I remember, man. I like that. That was beautiful. Total. All right, family. here we go. We got our reader. She made it before we moved on. So all y'all who was volunteering, we had like 50 people volunteer to read today. We appreciate the help. Everybody was like, yo, I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it. But here she is. She's made it now, y'all, so we can let that go. And she's back. All right. Sister Anit, you know I'm exaggerating the point, right? But I'm just making a smile today. Today is a Shabbat. If I can't bring a smile on your face on the Shabbat, then I will never be able to bring you a smile. May the Most High be praised. There's a debate going on, but the debate is only in my mind. Everybody else is totally convinced. They say we're on Genesis chapter 45. Is that correct? Correct?
Okay.
Oh man, I was wrong again. I'm always wrong. I don't know if y'all want to be listening to me, man. I'm always wrong. Here it is, Genesis 45, and I'm wrong again. That's all right. Let's move on. It's always a day when you can learn something new, right? So I'm learning something new. We're on chapter 45. All right, whenever you're ready, sis, let's roll.
Reading from Genesis chapter 45, verse 1.
We agree to have a heck of a ride, y'all. Heck of a ride. Let's go.
Then Joseph could not control himself before all them who stood by him, and he cried, caused every man to go out from me. And there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren. And he wept aloud. And the Egyptian.
Wait a minute. You got a little bit, you sound a little bit muffled, but I want to speak a little bit. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood before him, and he cried. Wow. This man was so overwhelmed with emotions because his family was reunited again. He couldn't take it anymore. And all he can do was just bust out crying in tears. That was a powerful scene right there. That was deep. He couldn't take it anymore. All he could do was cry. But you know what he did? Before he started crying, he put all the other strangers out of the room. Somebody tell me why it was so important that he put the people that wasn't his family outside of the room. Somebody just take a stab at it and tell me what you think. Is your mic on? I don't hear nobody talking.
Because he was about to reveal to his family who he was.
But why wasn't it? I agree with you totally. But why was it important that he put all the soldiers and all the rest of the men out of the room and only had him and his family in there when he was about to reveal who he was? Brother Benjamin, Sister Abigail?
He didn't want them to see him weak in a state of emotion of crying.
Why?
Because they reported to him. He was their leader.
So why? Go ahead. You on to it. I just need you to drop the jewel.
So they reported to him because he was in charge. So he didn't want them to see him vulnerable.
Here you go. I like the vulnerable part, and I know you know the answer, but why? Why didn't he want them to see him?
But then they wouldn't respect him, and they
There you
wouldn't
go. The part knew she had it. There you go, right there. You know, it's something about leadership. Now, it depends on the situation. See, like, you know, like a thing that's going on. But a leader has to always be what the people themselves will not be. Do y'all understand that? The people expect a leader to always be what they themselves won't be. Always remember that. Always remember that. Now, let me break it down on a small level. Your family know that you're supposed to be close to the Creator. You're supposed to be living this righteous life. This your family looking at you. Everybody look at yourself now. This is your family looking at you. They all know that you're supposed to be close to the Creator. You're supposed to be that example. It's okay for your brother to go and sneak around on his woman and cheat and rob and steal and sell drugs and commit all type of sins. It's okay for him. But if your brother ever heard that you did it, it's no longer okay. Because although they don't want to live your life, they expect you to be what they themselves won't be. They look at you as someone that they themselves won't excel to that level because they don't want to give up that worldly stuff. They don't want to make that sacrifice, but they expect you to make that sacrifice. Why? Because they really respect you to a higher level than what you think. They don't expect you to do foolishness. They expect you to be all that you're supposed to be because you profess to be close to the Creator. So it's certain type of attitude and conduct that those who are not serving the Creator or giving their all to the Creator would expect from you who profess to be serving the Creator and giving Him your all. They expect you to live up to what you say you're going to be. So now let's flip that around. In this order of leadership, the men expect their leadership to be strong, fortified, almost as if nothing hurts them, nothing can penetrate them, as if they made out of steel. And if you show signs of weakness, it might not happen right away, but eventually your men will become disrespectful to your authority. And you won't be a leader for long before somebody rises up and challenges your authority. But if you remain that stern, strong, solid, unpenetratable man, people respect you more. Don't listen to them women talk about, oh, it's okay for a man to cry. Don't listen to that. They're going to tell you that, but don't listen to it. It's not okay for a man to cry. It's never okay. If you want to maintain your manliness, don't cry, period. Somebody died, somebody got shot in the head, they died a horrible death, and you find yourself breaking down, excuse yourself, get to the next room and do what you got to do. But don't just sit there and just be, because the spirit that takes over you is not the spirit that they're accustomed to seeing in you. And once a person, I tell you like this right here, I got a dog, his name is LeBon. And about a year ago, he was outside on a chain, and one of the sheep came over to him, a little baby sheep. And LeBon caught that sheep, grabbed that sheep, grabbed him by the neck, and killed that sheep, and ripped him up and tasted the blood. And since that moment, he takes that blood. We feed him raw meat, but that ain't nothing like fresh blood. Since that moment, he's been looking for that blood again, trying to get that same flavor, that same taste, and it does something for their bodies. When a person sees you at your weakest state, it's a different spirit that they have towards you. I don't care if it's your mother, your brother, your wife, your child. If your child ever sees you at your weakest state, when they looked at you as such a strong man, if they ever see you at your weakest state, and I'm not saying they see you cry, if you drop a tear, get out of the room and go into another room and get rid of all that you got to get out. But do not do it in their presence. Don't be sitting up there boo-hooing and letting that stuff flow. Man, I know what they say, but what they say that for is to make you a punk, to lose authority, to become less dominant as you're supposed to be. Prince is telling you, don't do it, bro. If you don't believe me, do it on. Go ahead and do it. Your marriage should be over in less than a year. Go ahead and do it. Let us see you cry, boo-hooing, breaking down. It's okay to drop a tear and keep it moving, wipe it off, but you still maintain your composure. But when you get into that state where you can't hold back like Joseph was, and you about to boo-hoo and give it up and weep ain't just a cry. Weep is a serious, serious level of crying. No one should see you at that place, nobody, because they won't respect you after that. They'll respect you for a moment, but the moment they see that, all respect they have for you, holding you up in that high level of respect and honor, it goes out the door. So you don't let them see, man, listen, y'all, I'm sitting here like this here and I'm holding back them tears. And guess what? My John gonna go on blank and I'm gonna go out the room and tell you, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go do something. It happened before, believe me, it done already happened. If you don't understand it, you don't understand it. But brothers, mainly I'm speaking to you, let them women cry. They can boo-hoo. They can fall on your lap. They can be in tears. And I know some of y'all right now saying, oh, Prince ain't right. It's okay for a man to cry. That's because the world has gotten to you. And I'm going to tell you right now, sisters, if you got a man that ain't scared to cry in front of you, you ain't got a man. Get away from that fool. Get away from him. I'm telling you, you got a weak dude. That's what you got. It's not that men don't cry. We do cry, but y'all will never see us cry. You might see a tear drop down and then we out the door. We getting out, we going somewhere to straighten ourselves up, get ourselves together, but we're not gonna sit there and boo-hoo in front of you. It's just not what men do. I don't care how much of my heart you got. You can't get that part. It's just that simple. There you go. We cry in the dark where ain't nobody around, ain't nobody looking. It's just the way it is. So don't expect that. And if you're in a relationship with a man that does that, and you say to him, yo, you're not supposed to do that in front of me. Don't listen to what the world say. The world is about making men homosexual, gay, and weak. Why? So that they can stay in control and power of the earth. Believe me, if you got a male that cries in front of you, get that man out of your life. First you tell him, yo, you ain't supposed to do that. Just see what his response is. And if he comes off with that old faggot punk stuff, let him go. Because he's not a protector. He's not a protector. You heard it from Prince. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to move on. Men very rarely show that emotional side of them. You might get a little tiny glimpse. You may get a glimpse. But he will automatically make it so that you don't see him at his weak state. Because if you ever see a man in a weak state, you can never respect that guy again. You don't think it's a problem. But internally, there's an issue. There's an internal issue of the respect level that you'll have for that guy after that. So let's read on. Anyway, that's why Joseph had all his soldiers, exactly like my sister said. He had all his soldiers to leave out the room. But to his brothers, they all cried. Every one of them. Because it was a very highly emotional situation. And I can imagine the buildup Joseph had. Especially all that time when he was playing as if he was mad at them. He wasn't mad. He had to teach them a lesson, or he had to have them prove themselves whether they was ready for greatness or not. So he put them through them series of tests just so that they can reveal who they were and how they were inside of themselves. And they did just that. They was willing to die for what they believed in. And that's how you know you got a real man, because he's willing to put everything. Let me tell you something. Let me make this simple. Let me make this simple. If a man got all the riches in the world and he's happy, he's rolling, he's rocking, and y'all having a great life, a joyous life. If that man lost all those riches, could he still survive? Could he still find his happiness? Could he still be at peace with who he is as a man? The only way that that man could be happy, a real man, if he lost everything that he had and be peaceful, is if he got family. Family that respects him. Family that understands him. Family that is in peace with who he is as their leader, as their head. Because when you got that kind of family around you, all the money in the world don't make a difference. But when a man can't do nothing for you no more, will you still love him? Will you still be by his side? Will you still honor him? That's why I have so much respect for a woman that comes into a man's life when he at his lowest. I'm not talking about eating out of trash cans. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about, a man that's really struggling to get up, but yet he has ambitions and goals and desires, and he's working toward that level. He ain't no punk. He ain't giving in. He ain't no coward. He's a man of his word. He fears the creator, and he's doing his best to be his best. Ain't nothing wrong with that man going to another brother on the side and say, yo, bro, I need some help. What you got? Look out for your brother. I take care of you later on, but what's up? Can you help me? Ain't nothing wrong with a man doing that in private. In private. But you don't belittle yourself, don't disrespect yourself in front of your women. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. And if the man that you talk to or the male that you talk to brings that up and let it be known that you did that to him, you cut that joker off, period. Because he wants you to be weak. He doesn't want you to be strong. And you got to watch the people that's in your company. Always watch who you're walking with. Because people are not as strong as they're supposed to be. People are not as honest as they're supposed to be. People are not as loyal as they're supposed to be. Real brotherhood is about brotherhood. And when you find you got a real man in your life, I don't care how old he is, how young he is, but you hold on to the realness of real men. And if that guy that you talk, that you had to go and do whatever you had to do with, goes and run his mouth, he's not worthy of being your brother. And if you run your mouth and you tell somebody, yo, my boss, my man put me in check. My man gave me 2,000-3,000 stacks. And my man put me on the record. That's on you. You take that responsibility on you, but I ain't gonna tell nobody nothing. If I got something from somebody, ain't nobody gonna know but me and him unless he talk. Because I'm a man. And I don't believe in disrespecting, dishonoring myself. If you gonna dishonor me, that's one thing, but I'm not gonna do it to myself. And I'm gonna own up to my faults and my errors, my wrongdoings. I will own up to it. If I do something that ain't right, I'm gonna make it right. I'm gonna say what I did. And I'm gonna ask for your forgiveness, and I'm gonna move on, whether you forgive me or not. Don't matter, as long as I clean my spirit before the Creator. My brother Yosef, what he did was he made a power move. He got all the men, all the other outside energies out of the room, and he talked to his brothers, and he revealed, and he cried, and they cried. And then he let the other ones come back in after all the weeping was over. He probably went and washed his face and brushed his teeth, changed his clothes, and act like nothing never happened. In today's world, if you come into the Shabbat the same way, if you leave the Shabbat the same way you came into the Shabbat, then there was no reason for you to be in the Shabbat. You could have stayed sleeping in your bed. Or you could have just went somewhere and did something else, been somewhere else and spent your time. I would pray that there's never a Shabbat day or any time that we all get to sit down and have these type of talks and you don't walk out of here learning something. And we all have room and space to learn. Even I learned something. Most of the time I do. And I always try to get something out of you. That's why I like to hear what your opinion is. The Creator don't just speak through me. I ain't got this thing locked down where he just worked through me. He worked through every one of y'all as well. People just have to have the ear to listen when the Most High speak. I acknowledge that. Let's go, sis. Thank you.
Reading from Genesis chapter 45, verse 2. And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard.
They heard him in there crying like a little girl, but they didn't see him. It's a difference. Do y'all understand there's a difference? No? Okay. As long as you understand. The difference is in you beholding it, a man at his weakness. You beholding it, it's a difference. You see that there's a difference. What I say to brother to go in the other room, that's what I said. And that's what he should do. Read on, please. Let's go.
Verse 3. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Doeth my father yet live? And his brethren could not answer him, for they were terrified at his presence.
Why was they terrified of his presence? What was it about him that made them say, huh?
He was in charge.
He was in charge. That's a very, that's one that I didn't even pay attention to. Thank you, sis. See what I mean? How the Most High speaks? See what I mean? Thank you for that, because I didn't even pay attention to that. The focus that I had was his appearance. He had become Egyptianized. He had become like the people that he was living with. Therefore, his whole physical appearance had changed. He was no longer looking like a Hebrew. He was looking like an Egyptian, sort of like how we look in our American clothes. We don't look Hebrew no more. We look just like one of them. We think like them, we act like them, we talk like them. So was Joseph. Except Joseph never lost who he was as a servant of the Most High King. Read on, sis, please.
Verse 4. And Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near me, I pray you. And they came near. And he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt.
Can you imagine how they felt when he did that, revealed himself? They sold him into slavery, thinking that they was going to get away from him and do him some injustice. But they were actually helping to fulfill the Most High's prophecy. Just like the man that Potiphar's wife threw him into jail, got him thrown into jail because she thought she was doing him some harm. But it happened to be the Most High's prophecy still being fulfilled. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, family, that people tend to think that they're doing evil by you. If it's in the Most High's plans, they're not doing evil. They're actually doing you good. They're helping to fulfill the Most High's word. And you might not be able to see it. Who would have ever thought that from prison, Joseph would become the second in command, the second greatest man in Egypt? No one would have ever imagined that. No one could ever put that story together. It couldn't have been done no better than the way that the Most High did it. So look at your life right now for a lot of the people that do you harm. Don't always look at people as, this person just don't like me. Sometimes you got to look at this person and give them the benefit of the doubt and say, this person might be serving the Creator. They might be doing what the Most High has for them to do. As evil as Saul, as evil as he was living out his life, and some of the things that he was doing was bringing about the prophecies that he, the Creator, had put in place. That Judah will reign supreme over the nations, and that Judah's throne would reign forever, not Benjamin's. Not Benjamin's throne. Saul was out of Benjamin. King Dawid was out of Judah. Saul was trying to kill Dawid, not even knowing that he was causing prophecy to come into play. Just by him living his life, he was causing the Creator's prophecy to come into play. You understand what I'm saying? Read on, please, sis.
Verse 5.
Oh,
Now there,
one second, sis. I got to make this clear. That doesn't mean that you let people do evil to you and you keep them in your company. That's not what I'm saying. When people do evil to you, you remove yourself from their company. They're no longer your friend. You don't have to deal with them. You don't have to talk to them. They're wicked. They're evil. Unless they come to you asking for forgiveness, then it's up to you to give them another opportunity, but you don't have to. It's your decision. I don't want you to be weak, thinking that just because somebody say I'm sorry, that they know what sorry means, that they have changed their ways, because it doesn't mean that. And I don't want you being weak, thinking that because somebody does evil to you, they might be servants of the Creator. That's not what I mean. I'm saying the Most High uses wicked people to bring about righteousness. That don't mean that you are to reward those wicked people for the righteousness that they're bringing about. No, it's not what that means. You remember that those people are wicked and you treat them as such. You separate yourself from those people, you stay out of their company, and you move on and you worship this King like you're supposed to. Don't let people take advantage of you because you have a good spirit and a kind heart. Don't let them abuse you. Read on, please. I'm sorry, sis. Please forgive me.
verse 5. Now therefore be not grieved nor angry with yourselves.
Sis, your phone sound muffled. You don't sound like normal. Like, are you talking through a speaker or something? Are you doing anything different than what you normally do?
I did open up some tabs. I opened up an online Bible. Hold on just a minute.
I don't know if that's it, but it may be. I don't know. You just sound muffled. Hmm. The Most High always has a plan for you in your life when you're walking in righteousness, doing your best to serve Him. He always has a plan for you. As long as you remain loyal and committed to Him, He'll bless you. And He'll give you exactly what He has for you to have. Always remember that. May the Most High be praised. You ready, sis?
Cain, I just hung up to restart it.
I
We
think
got-
it's a little better.
Is it better?
I think I won't know till you start reading.
Verse 5. Now therefore be not grieved nor angry with yourselves, that ye sold me here, for the Most High did send me before you to preserve life. For these 2 years hath the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years, in which there shall neither be plowing nor harvest. And the Most High sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance.
Now, I want to make this clear to you all so you understand. It's not that there was no food in the earth. There was no food for the animals, and a lot of food was missing for the people. They had no bread, they had no grain, but they did have fruit. Fruit was growing, but the people wasn't trying to live off of just fruit. They wanted grain. Bread is a staff of life. You ever heard that saying? Bread is a staff of life. And without the grain, a lot of things, even the body functions differently without the grain. Read on, sis.
Verse 8. So now it was not you that sent me here, but the Most High. And he has made me a father to Pharaoh, a lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. Haste ye, and go up to my father, and say unto him, Thus saith thy son Joseph, the Most High has made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down unto me, tarry not.
Can you imagine how old man Israel felt when this was told to him that his father, his son Joseph was still alive? Oh man. Oh, his wildest imagination, his wildest dream had just came true. Do y'all know how he loved Joseph when Joseph was a boy? Remember how he loved Joseph? Joseph,
Yeah.
Joseph was his man. No, Joseph couldn't do no wrong. Isha,
Right. I agree. And along with that, they lied to his dad. They told him, or he, I forgot exactly, but you say old man Jake, he assumed his son died because they brought to him a blood and they tricked him. So just imagine how the brothers, how they had to, the amount of humbleness that they needed to have admitting to their father that they lied about his son
that's right.
dead. Crazy.
That's right. Daughter of our Sister Brittany.
Yeah, and to add to that, I couldn't imagine. Like, I could think of like the most grief I've ever been in over a loss. And I couldn't imagine someone coming to me and saying, well, actually, they're not, deceased. That's just wow.
You're right. And all them years that he believed his son was dead, his son wasn't dead. And all of a sudden, it's like the dead come back to, oh man, that's unbelievable. All right, sis, let's read on. Torah Rabbah, may the Most High be praised.
Verse 10. And thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen, and thou shalt be near unto me, thou and thy children, and thy children's children, and thy flocks, and thy herds, and all that thou hast. And there will I nourish thee, For yet there are 5 years of famine, lest thou and thy household and all that thou hast come to poverty. And behold, your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin, that it is my mouth that speaketh unto you. And ye shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all that ye have seen, and ye shall haste and bring down my father here.
Now, let me ask a question, family. Very important question, but if you pay attention, you will know the answer to it. If you don't know the answer, don't be offended. Just pay attention a little bit more, okay? When Pharaoh made Joseph second in command of all of Egypt, why was it important that he gave him a wife?
So his loyalty,
Huh?
so his loyalties would be to Egypt.
Okay, that's a good way to look at it. I like that. I like that. Anyone else? Why was it important that he gave that man a wife?
I would say, along with Sister Anit, like Pharaoh wanted to always keep ties with Joseph. So if he gave him a daughter of Egypt, he would always have ties with him.
Very good. Okay, I understand. And I can see the science in that. But it's something else that I'm looking for. When Pharaoh elevated Joseph from a slave to a prince, why was it important that he gave him a wife? If you've been paying attention in class today, you should know the answer.
He's in debt to him like for that now?
That's a little bit. That's a little.
Because when you get to a certain point or stature, having a wife shows elevation, or that you're ready for the responsibility of that role that you've stepped into or been elevated to.
All right, all right. Everybody take a deep breath. Take a deep breath in your nose and out your mouth. Whistle. Now, when the slave got elevated to a prince, why was it important that he had a wife? Think with your spiritual mind. I'll take one more guess. One more person take a shot at it, and then I'll give the answer.
Because
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead,
sis.
you can go ahead.
I'll retract my statement. I'll take the last two. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say, because he does not want to ever be out in a vulnerable position, a man and having the needs of a man and not having a wife to provide those needs. It will make him vulnerable, and might do something foolish being vulnerable to any woman.
Okay, I can understand that. All right, thank you. Anyone?
I was just gonna say, because when they have children, his children will belong to the master, and it makes him more powerful.
Y'all slick. She's absolutely right, but that's not the answer that I was looking for.
Okay.
Maybe because it ties them into that lineage.
Okay, well, that's a good one too. Y'all sharp. I'm telling you, y'all sharp. Y'all pulling off some stuff. But what I was looking for was a lot different than what I'm hearing. Remember when I spoke earlier about a man who was wealthy and he lost everything? Y'all remember that? What was the one thing that he didn't lose that meant everything to him?
His respect.
But what was it that he got the respect from?
Family.
Family.
Mm-hmm.
Family is always the #1 priority of a man. Always. Think about it for a second. Let's go back to Adam and Hawa. Let's go back to Adam and Hawa. The creator created Adam. And he had all them animals. And they was all obeying him and walking. But Adam's heart was hurting because Adam didn't have something. He didn't have family. He needed a wife to complete him. Every man needs a woman to complete him in life. Rich, I don't care how rich you are, without family, that wife produces children. Those children produces love and respect for that man. It's like something that money can't buy when it's real. It's powerful. And you can lose all your wealth. As long as you got family, you're still good. I mean, real family. I'm not talking about nobody just use you when they want you. They just call you for a couple of hours. I ain't talking about none of that. I'm talking about them family that when you hurt, they hurt. When you need, they need. Family that's right there for you. Real family. That's what I'm talking about. Because y'all got a lot of people in your life right now that just use you to get what they want, what they need, and when they need it, and how they want it. And they call themselves family, but that's not what really family is all about. Family is about sometimes extending yourself to the other party and saying, hey, what you need? You all right? You cool? Can I do anything for you? And when they hurt, you right there on their lap. You right there with them, the crowd for them and with them when they're in pain, when they're suffering, whenever they're going through their trials and tribulations. You feel that burden within yourself, although you're 30, 40, 50 miles away. You feel that burden and you start working on how you can fix their problems. Ain't nothing like family, y'all. And to have, as a man, to have the respect of your wife and to have the respect of your children, there's nothing like it. Women, you will never understand that. I know you won't, because you're not a man. You can sympathize with it and say that you understand, but you can't even imagine. A real man that is not able to provide for his family is in the deepest pain he could ever feel. Jail could never bring him that kind of pain unless he cannot provide for his family. A gunshot will never bring him that kind of pain except he can't provide for his family. I got arrested one time. I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit of my life, a little bit peep about Prince. I got arrested one time. At this time I had 2 nashim. And I was incarcerated and I had been down for a little time. I didn't do much time. The Creator blessed me. And I'm thankful and grateful, very appreciative. So I was down for a little bit of time, maybe a couple of months, like 6 months. But like I was maybe down for about a week or 2 before I even used the phone. And when I was talking to my nashim, I'm telling them the business, how to get this and get that done and go get that money and get me out of here and talk to this lawyer and do, you know. But the moment I heard my children's voice, I couldn't even talk to my children. My women, I could talk to them. My child or my children, when I heard the voice of I just broke, I had to get off the phone. I just broke down. A man cannot take the pain of disappointing his children. It hurts when he cannot do what he know he's supposed to do. It's even if his family, his wife needs, and he's not able to provide. I didn't talk about no male, because males don't even really care. Talk about men. It hurts a man not to be able to provide as he's supposed to provide. The Creator just installed that in us. It hurts him. The reason why he gave him a wife was so that he would have family. Somebody said it, so he will be tied in. Yeah, all that's true. Everything that y'all said was true. But on a deeper level, a man is never complete until he has a family. 1, 2, 3, 20 even. He's never complete. And a man can make all the money he wants. If he ain't got a wife, he's a lonely man. He could be a whoremonger running the streets. He will still be a lonely man. And he will not be at his best until he has a purpose to fight to be at his best. And that's what family brings. So let's read on, sis. We're going to move past that. Just retain that information in your memory, please.
Reading from
Man
Genesis.
without a family is a dangerous man. Don't even walk with him because most of them be dumb and stupid. They have no reason to live. They do all kind of foolish things. But a man with a family that cares, that's a real man, Oh man, ain't nothing like it. Sister Brittany, you want to make a statement or something?
Yes, the world kind of mimics the Most High in some things. So even in corporate America, they don't really want to hire a man as like CEO, CFO, and in higher positions without a family. People like find you untrustworthy. Yeah, like you said, they don't see you committed to anything. They don't really think you will be committed to the company.
That's right. Look at the president of the United States. You're absolutely right. Very rarely will you see any man as president that's a single man. I don't know if you ever seen a single man as president.
Nope.
All right, let's read on, sis. Let's keep this thing moving. We on to something. Let's see what the Most High giving us.
Reading from Genesis chapter 45, verse 14. And he fell upon his brother's Benjamin's neck and wept. And Benjamin wept around his neck.
Where they weapon at? Where they weapon at?
In the nape or the little part of your neck.
They're weeping on each other's neck. That's how men did what men did. Today, you try to kiss somebody on their neck. Whoa, they're ready to fight because they don't understand pure love, pure honor. The way our forefathers moved, people of the day don't understand that. These are grown men weeping and crying on each other's neck. Right here. One brother gonna be told, like Abraham told, put your hand under my thigh and prove to me that you mean business. He gonna say, put your hand under my thigh and swear to me. That's what our father Abraham did. How many men today will be willing to prove a point by putting their hand underneath of another man's thigh? Almost none of them. Even the gay ones wouldn't want to do it unless he thinking of something free. Read on, please.
Verse 15. Moreover, he kissed all of his brethren and wept upon them. And after that, his brethren talked with him.
Do you see brothers kissing today? And we ain't talking about no mouth kisses. We talking about the neck or the cheek and just embrace it. Do you see brothers kissing today? No, we too manly to kiss. No, what it really is we don't have enough honor between us to kiss each other. We don't have it. We don't hold that kind of honor within ourselves. We don't. We just don't hold it. It's not there. Read on, sis, before I get emotional over here.
Verse 16. And the report thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brethren are come, and it pleased Pharaoh well, and his servants. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, say unto thy brethren, this do ye, load your beasts and go, get ye unto the land of Canaan, and take your father and your households, and come unto me.
Now this is Pharaoh speaking. He's the head honcho. Joseph never asked for permission at this time. He didn't ask Pharaoh for nothing. Pharaoh overheard him. Pharaoh comes in and Pharaoh say, yo, go get him. Why? Because he knows that if his family comes and Joseph is pleased, Joseph will do a better job at serving the nation. Think about it, fam. Think about it. It's wisdom. The man is smart. Read on, please.
Verse 18. And take your father and your households, and come unto me, and I will give you the good of the land of Egypt, and ye shall eat the fat of the land. Now thou art commanded, this do ye. Take you wagons out of the land of Egypt for your little ones, and for your wives, and bring your father and come. Also, regard not your furniture, for the good of all the land of Egypt is yours.
Yo. This is the words of a man when he takes a wife. He says, leave all that mess there. You don't need none of that stuff. When you get here, I got you. We're going to build from scratch right here. But a lot of women, they just, Man, look, I gotta hold on to this. I had this for 15 years. I want this. I'm taking this with me. Real men don't play that game. When a man takes a wife, this gotta go, this gotta go, that gotta go, that gotta go, that gotta go, and he replaces those things. Real men. Males, I'm going off script a little bit, but a male will come in the house, know you're not a virgin, and sleep in that same bed that you slept in with 15, 20 other men, because they don't care. They have no honor about themselves. They have no respect about themselves. But a real man who comes in knowing that you ain't a virgin, he gonna burn that mattress, throw it in the trash, get rid of it, and buy a new one and put it in there, and that's what he gonna lay on. That's how you can tell when you got something special. Halfway working with a male. If you got a male that wants to marry you, and y'all court, or however it goes, and this man ain't got no problem laying in a bed that another man and had sex with you in, get rid of him, quick. Oh, you gotta go. Oh, well, he'd be like, well, why? What I do? You say, I know, you don't know, that's why you gotta go. Why? And get rid of that fool. He's not a man. Real men don't play that. I promise you, any man, any male that you've ever had in your life, sisters, who are not virgins, and I know that's only besides the married, that's the little ones, most of y'all are all virgins. So any of y'all who are not virgins, I will promise you, any relationship that you ever had where the man didn't have a problem sleeping in the bed that another man shared with you, that relationship didn't last. And if you're in that relationship right now, it ain't gonna last. I promise you, because you ain't got a man. You got a male disguising himself as a man, and you giving him a pass. Real men don't sleep in the bed that other men slept in. Real men don't even let you keep the clothes that another man brought you. No, they got to go. Sometimes it's even the clothes that your father brought you. Let that sink in. That's how you know when you're working with a halfway decent man. And if he worshiped the Creator too, oh, you on to something special. But if you got one of them dudes talking about they want to be your husband, and I'm not talking about y'all having sex, I'm talking about him just coming and laying in the bed. Something wrong with that picture. And if you got a male, yeah, I got to use male because men don't do this stuff. But if you got a male that's coming into a house that you already brought, that another man brought you, and that man's still alive, you ain't got no man. You got a male. Get rid of that fool. When you go into a new relationship, that man will provide you everything you need once he approves that he's ready to marry you. He will get you from where you at and place you where you need to be, something that he has done for you. And if he hasn't done that, then he's not worthy of you. If he doesn't have that mind state, don't even pay him no mind. If this joker come travel 15, 20 miles to lay up with you and y'all laying in your bed, you're not having sex, y'all just laying in your bed watching Netflix, he's a fool, he gotta go. Yo, bro, I can't do it with you. Why? What we doing is hitting Netflix and chilling. Netflix and chilling. That's all we doing. I know, you gotta go. And that's it, it's a wrap. If this man ain't talking about providing you the things that he's supposed to provide as your husband, he got to go because he's not a man, he's a male. And there's a difference between a man and a male. But there's little things that you have to watch for when you are a single woman and someone is talking about, I want to be in your life. Make him earn it. And the first thing he do in earning it is his conversation. First, his conversation will let you know what he's willing to do for you. And secondly, his conversation will turn into action and he will begin to do those things. And then there's a possibility that you may marry him. Other than that, how are you talking to him? And if you can't control that horniness about yourself, you don't need to be with nobody. Stay alone until you learn to master self. And once you learn to master self, then you can possibly court somebody to be a wife. Let's read on, please. Bang.
Verse 21. And the children of Israel did so, and Joseph gave them wagons according to the commandment of Pharaoh, and gave them provision for the way. To all of them he gave each man changes of raiment, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver, and 5 changes of raiment.
Why was he so special to Benjamin? That was his little brother of his mother and father. It was different. Read on, please.
Verse 23. And to his father he sent after this manner 10 asses loaded with the good things of Egypt, and 10 she-asses loaded with grain and food for his father by the way. So he sent his brethren away, and they departed. And he said unto them, see that ye fall not out by the way. And they went up out of Egypt and came into the land of Canaan unto Jacob their father, and told him, saying, Joseph is yet alive, and he is governor over all the land of Egypt. And Jacob's heart fainted, for he believed them not. And they told him all the words of Joseph, which he had said unto them. And when he saw the wagons which Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of Jacob, their father, revived.
Wow. See, he saw the proof. It wasn't just words. He saw the action behind the words. And that's what let him know that they were for real. So don't let nobody come in your life talking about what they gonna do, what they want to do, and what they thinking about doing until they actually show you that they're doing it. Then you hear them at their word. Read on, please.
Verse 28. And Israel said, it is enough. Joseph, my son, is yet alive. I will go and see him before I die.
Wow. He want to go see his son before he died. So this is a very emotional time for him in his life right now. Very emotional. Read on and let's see where we at.
Reading from Genesis chapter 46, verse 1. And Israel took his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and offered sacrifices unto the Most High of his father Isaac.
Now stop for a second. Now all this time we read about Israel or old man Jacob, we didn't hear anything about him offering sacrifices. We've seen a lot of him talking to his sons, telling his sons what he wanted, didn't want to do. We didn't see much about him going to the Creator for anything. But right here, he's going to take, because it's a big major move. And he's going to go to the Creator and ask the Creator what he should do, whether it's acceptable or not. And let's see what the Most High tells him. Read on, please.
Verse 2.
Read one again, please.
Verse 1. And Israel took his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and offered sacrifices unto the Most High of his father Isaac.
Do you know how hard it is to get a person to take everything that they have, pack up and move? Do you know how difficult that is? Most people don't want to do it. Most people don't even want to pack up their stuff and leave. They're too comfortable being where they are. And what I'm saying to you right now, fam, don't get comfortable anywhere. Never get comfortable. Not that comfortable that you can't leave that place or that person. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Do y'all hear what I'm saying?
King.
Because I didn't stutter. Don't never get too comfortable that you cannot leave that place or that person. Because people can become wicked. And when a person, now see, the thing is, you as a woman, you can't just up and leave. You can't leave your man. He could become wicked as all darkness out in daylight. He could become just that wicked. You can't leave him. You have to ask him for permission to leave. You can't even, your husband became wicked and dirty as dirt. You can't even slack on your job of serving him, because then you will be unrighteous to the Creator. You chose him. You laid down with him. He's your Lord. And you have to understand that. You don't get to choose who your husband is going to be after you done laid with him. You don't get that choice. So if your husband flop up, and change up and become wicked, you stuck with that wicked man. The only recourse you have is to go to the Most High and ask the Most High to remove you from that situation. Now, I'm not saying that the man is beating you down, busting your eyeballs out, knocking your teeth out. I'm not saying that. If that's happening, you take him before the judges and you have a hearing, you try to do what you got to do to preserve your life. You get up out of there, he'll never have to see you again, and let that be between you and the Creator. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a man that just become a crackhead and start stealing all your stuff. You walking around the corner, you see somebody with your shoes on, you're like, hey, where you get them shoes? Shoes. And they red bottoms, you know, they red bottoms, because when your man was getting it, he got you. He had you going good. Now all of a sudden, he's smoking crack. He's selling all your stuff, and all the people in the neighborhood got your stuff. You can't leave him. You can't divorce him because you chose him. And you have to still make sure that when he come home, he got a decent meal on the table. He got whatever you got to do, whatever you got to do, you got to do it. You just got to be that strong woman, the backbone of the family. Believe me. And you take all of your pain, all of your suffering, all your misery to the Creator. Believe me, family, because that man can turn back to be greater than what he ever was. Believe me. The strongest drug, the strongest narcotic, the strongest depressant, whatever it is, it can't hold back when the Most High got his hands on you. And you being faithful and loyal and committed to the Creator can do just that for your husband. You got to understand what I'm saying to you. That man could be at his lowest. You as his wife, you can't leave. But now as a man, if your woman fall out of order and she become wicked and she starts sneaking around in the middle of the night and you can't trust her, get rid of her quick out of your life because she will kill you. I ain't talking about she gonna take a knife and stab you. The pain that you have inside your mind just wondering. You won't be able to work. You won't be able to think. You won't be able to be a man. You won't be able to function. It's different. And you won't be able to provide. You got to let that poison go. Don't never get in that position where you can't leave. As a man, don't never get in that position where you can't leave. Nobody should be able to control your spirit but the Creator on that level. You protect, you honor, you cherish, you provide, you do everything to the best of your ability for your family. But the moment that your wife step outside of the line of being her best, giving you her best, doing her best, now I'm not talking about mistakes or errors. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying my wife get caught, I catch my wife in the car with another man around the corner up the street down the block. And I catch her and say, who is that? She said, oh, that's my cousin Jimmy from around the way. I've been meaning to introduce you to him. Well, why is your underwear? Because, and I say this because a lot of men get that stuck. You know, I watch a lot of, I know from real life too, but I also watch a lot of, what's them shows? What's that paternity court show? With a man that caught his wife butt naked with a man running up in her, butt naked. And he said, well, we came a long way and I really don't want to leave her. And if the baby's mine, we're just going to have to work on repairing our family. There is no repairing. She lost all respect for you the moment she gave that guy her phone number, her contact information. She lost all respect for you. And when a woman loses respect for you, it's a wrap. It's over. It's done. It's just time is just ticking before she's out. So brothers, I'm telling you, not that I wish this upon any man. Never, ever, ever. But brothers, you got a job to do when you got a wife. You keep doing your job. You maintain your job. You serve the Creator to the best of your ability. You be as strong as possible to do your job. You please your family. You keep your family, provide for them, give them what they need. You make your wife as happy and as comfortable as you could possibly make her. But the moment she falls out of line, you sit down and you talk with her, you make sure that you're right. And she got to go. She has to go. Even if it's your only wife, she got to go. There is no such thing as fixing adultery. It don't work that way. And if you're a man or male on this line and your wife has already committed adultery on you and you forgave her and y'all got past that, it's just a moment before she does it again or something even worse. Obey the laws of the Creator. And if she does adultery, those laws are in place for a reason. She got to go. Now, I'm not talking about if she start cooking your food and she burning up your food and just don't taste the same. Then you talk to her and say, baby, that spaghetti don't taste like spaghetti no more. Baby, it's cool. Things like that you can work on, you can fix up. Y'all ain't always got, she ain't got to be perfect, is what I'm saying. She can have flaws, she can make mistakes, and certain things you can work on. 90% of the things you can fix. You know, when you say something to her, here you go. When you say something to her, she got that. Y'all hear that? That means she don't really want to do it. Then it's time for you to have a talk with her. Don't mean she got to go. It means you got to have a talk with her. Man, we got to have a men's class. That's what we're going to have to do. But then a lot of the brothers that might be hearing this tape might be experiencing these things and might need that advice. So let me just take 2 more minutes and explain. You never want to force your wife to do anything that she doesn't willingly want to do for you. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? You never force your wife to do anything that she doesn't already want to do for you. If you have to force her to do anything, you don't need her. She's not a wife. Let her go. If your wife got to force you to pay bills, something wrong with you as a man. If your wife got to force you to get a job or go to work and make some money to bring home to the family, if your wife got to force you to fight that guy who pulled out a knife on her and try to rob her while y'all was standing there, and you didn't stand in front of her to protect her and risk your life to defend her, you got to go, bro. She ain't got no man. She got a dude. That's all you is a dude. Your job is to provide and to protect, to cherish, and to provide, protect, and cherish, those type of things. You know what I mean? That's what your job is as a man. And when you're not doing your job, something's wrong with that situation. And when your woman fall off on her job, something is very wrong with that. But most things that women fall off on, all you need to do is have a conversation with them and they'll straighten it up. And if they don't straighten it up, then you gotta let her go. Because you can't have anything holding you back, causing your mind not to function properly, where you're able to function on all cylinders. If she's a hindrance to you, if she's a liability to you, and she's not worth it, you gotta let her go. Stop being like Samson with Delilah. Delilah tricked him to his face 4 times. 3 times, he knew exactly what she was doing, and he wouldn't give her that. He wouldn't tell her. He wouldn't give it up. But she started crying and moaning and weeping and putting a little girly face on and nagging him and constantly getting at him. And he got weak and he said, all right, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. He already knew she was no good for him. He already knew, but he just stayed. He stayed and he stayed. He should have left. The first time she said, what makes you weak? He should have said, why are you worried about me being weak? Oh. And it should have calculated in his mind that she means him no good. But he wanted something from her. And it blinded him. Had it not blinded him, he would have been better off just leaving her and finding somebody else to be with. So I'll be quiet now. I said 2 minutes, and that was about 1 3/4 of a minute. So go ahead, sis. Continue on, please. Tell us where we were before Prince interrupted.
Reading from Genesis chapter 46, verse 1.
We only on the first verse. Damn, what's wrong
We're
with
really on
that
the
brother?
second verse, but
Boy, that guy is something. Read on, sis.
and Israel took his journey with all that he had and came to Beersheba and offered sacrifices unto the Most High of his father,
Now,
Isaac.
1 second, please. Brothers, whenever you take a wife, you take her out of the place where she was and you bring her into your place. You do not move into her place where she's most comfortable. You have to take her from where she's comfortable and bring her into something that you provide for her. You provided for her. So all that she got to pack up and roll and come to you. Read on, sis. I ain't gonna belabor the point. And if you ever
Verse
meet a man
2.
that don't do that, sis, you ever meet a man that don't do that, he ain't worth having, so get rid of him. Yeah, that part.
Verse 2. And the Most High spoke unto Israel in the visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here I am. And he said, I am the Most High, the creator of thy fathers. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will be there. Make of thee a great nation.
Wow. Read on.
And I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up again. And Joseph shall put his hand upon thy eyes. And Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Jacob their father and their little ones and their wives in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their cattle and their goods, which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, Jacob and all his seed with him, his sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him into Egypt.
What daughters? Israel ain't had no daughters, did he?
Granddaughters, daughter-in-laws.
There you go. That's right. You sharp, girl. You sharp. Somebody be paying attention. That's what I'm talking about. My sons got sons. My son's son called me Abba. That old grandpa Saba, I don't play that. No, I'm Abba. My children's children call me Abba. That's just the way it should be. Because you are to look at them as your own children. Ishi, got your hand up?
Didn't Israel have Dinah?
Yeah, well, that's only one daughter. That's plural, singular. The way they have it here is plural. It says daughters. Dinah's only one. It should have said daughter, but it didn't. It said daughters with an S on it.
Oh, got you. Okay.
All right, read on, sis, please.
Verse 8. And these are the names of the children of Israel who came into Egypt, Jacob and his sons, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and the sons of Reuben, Hanak, and Palu, and Hezron, and Carmi, and the sons of Simeon, Yemuel, and Yamin, and Ohad, and Yachin, and Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanitish woman, and the sons of Levi, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari, and the sons of Judah, and Onan, and Shelah, and Perez, and Zerah. But and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamul.
One second. What verse you on?
I'm
12?
on
12, right?
verse 12, yes.
All right. Now, I want to read 12. And the sons of Judah, and Onan, Shelah, and Pharez, and Zerah. Now, Shelah, Pharez, and Zerah, we all know who they were by, right? They were the sons of Tamar. That old man Judah in 38th chapter of Genesis had by Tamar, his son's wife. When his son died, he ended up sleeping with her because she dressed up like a harlot and she had these two children. All right. Pharez is going to go on to have children. And Pharez is going to be the one who brings forth Hezron, I believe it was. And Hezron is going to bring forth King David's grandfather, Obed, and Obed going to bring about Jesse, and Jesse's going to bring about David. So this is the lineage of King David in chapter 12. All right, read on, please.
Verse 13. And the sons of Issachar, Tola, and Puvah, and Job, and Shimron. And the sons of Zebulun, Sered, and Elon, and Jael. These are the sons of Leah, whom she bore unto Jacob in Padanaram, with his daughter Dinah. All the souls of his sons and his daughter were 33. And the sons of Gad, Ziphion, and Haggai, Shuni, and Esbon, and Eri, and Aridi, and Areli. And the sons of Asher, Imnah, and Ishva, and Ishvi, and Beriah, and Sirah, their sister. And the sons of Beriah, Heber, and Machiel. These are the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah, his daughter. And these she bore unto Jacob, even 16 souls. And the sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, Joseph and Benjamin. And unto Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, whom Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On bore unto him. And the sons of Benjamin were Bela and Becher, and Ashbel, Gurah, and Naaman, Ehi, and Rosh, Mupim, and Hupim, and Ard. These are the sons of Rachel, who were born to Jacob. All the souls were 14. And the sons of Dan, Hushim, and the sons of Naphtali, Yazil, and Guni, and Yezer, and Shulim. These are the sons of Bilhah, whom Laban gave unto Rachel, his daughter, and she bore these unto Jacob. All the souls were 7. All the souls that came with Jacob into Egypt, who came out of his loins, besides Jacob's sons' wives, all the souls were 66. And the sons of Joseph, who were born to him in Egypt, were 2 souls. All the souls of the house of Jacob, who came into Egypt, were 70. And
70
he
souls. 70 souls. Read on.
verse 28. And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph to direct his face unto Goshen, and they came into the land of Goshen. And Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to meet Israel, his father, to Goshen, and presented himself unto him. And he fell on his neck and wept on his neck a good while. And Israel said unto Joseph, Now let me die, since I have seen thy face, because thou art yet alive. And Joseph said unto his brethren, and unto his father's house, I will go up and show Pharaoh, and say unto him, My brethren and my father's house, who were in the land of Canaan, are come unto me. And these men are shepherds, for their trade has been to feed cattle, and they have brought their flocks and their herds and all that they have. And it shall come to pass, when Pharaoh shall call you, and shall say, What is your occupation? that ye shall say, Thy servants' trade have been about cattle from our youth, even until now, both we and also our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians.
Now, there's a lot of wisdom in that, in what he's saying. He's saying that we're shepherds so that we don't have to live in Egypt with the Egyptians. We want our own town, our own separate part. So that's why they say that we dealt with animals all of our lives, so that they can have Goshen all to themselves. There was something else that I wanted to bring out. Let me just look at this for a second. All right, I don't remember, so it's slipping me. So I'm gonna let that ride until next time. It slipped out of my mind what I wanted to share with you guys. I forgot. But at this particular point, they were to tell Pharaoh that they were shepherds, or that they raised, the way that he put it, that they raised animals. They've dealt with animals all their life, livestock, all their lives. And Pharaoh will end up offering them a job. But the whole, I remember what I wanted to say. Now, when he said, and it shall come to pass when Pharaoh shall call you and shall say, what is your occupation? Why should Pharaoh care what their occupation is? Can anybody tell me?
Because maybe depending on what it is, they might do a better job and end up starting to collect a lot of riches, and maybe Pharaoh wouldn't want that, right?
Okay, that's one way to look at it. Okay. Anybody else? Let me put it to you this way, since nobody's volunteering to answer. When you are introduced to a gentleman, and y'all, before y'all begin a courtship, do you ask that gentleman what type of work you do?
Okay.
Yes.
Why would you want to know what kind of work he does?
To see if he can provide.
Yep.
To see if he can provide?
Mhm.
Or
Yeah, to see what he does.
social
If
status
it's
is.
So why are you worried about him providing? Because if he don't provide, what has to happen?
I would have to.
Yeah, right. And then you know what kind of dude you're working with. Pharaoh asked them that question, right? Because he want to know if they're going to be a burden on Egypt.
Mhm.
Are they going to be an asset to Egypt, or are they going to be a burden to Egypt? He asked him that question. This is a wise book, man. This book covers so many things that common, ordinary people don't even pay attention to. Why would he ask them, what's your occupation? He's Pharaoh. What do he care about them people for? It's a lot of them. And they coming into his city. And he don't want them lingering around, not doing nothing, being thieves and bums and stealing and robbing and murdering people just to survive. He don't want that. He says, what are you qualified to do? What do you do for a living? Just so happens that Joseph knew Pharaoh would ask that question. Why? Because Joseph is intelligent. Pharaoh is intelligent. And intelligent people, bringing people into their lives, want to know what they got to offer to provide to their lives. Do y'all hear me? Don't nobody want no burdens coming into their lives, especially burdens that's going to be robbers and thieves and killers and rapists and all that type of stuff. Nobody wants that. Nobody needs that kind of trouble. So they're going to question you as to who you are and what you do. They want to know. And it's up to you to let them know. Do y'all understand me?
Okay.
Now, if you coming in, let's say, what's a situation where a man is about to take a wife? The wife don't have to do anything. Any man that got his wife out working is a privilege for that woman. You don't have to work as a woman, as a wife. You don't have to work. It's not your responsibility to work. You work because you choose to work. Or y'all might be seeing some hard times and he may have to utilize you at that particular point to come up and to get where he needs to be. Then you do whatever you got to do. But as a wife, it's not your responsibility to be the breadwinner for the family. It's not your job or your place. If you work, it's a privilege that you work. It's okay. You can work if that's what you and your husband decide to do. But as a wife, that's not your responsibility. It's his responsibility to provide for you. Do y'all understand that?
Yep, that's how the man.
Okay.
That's right. Now, a lot of people are going to disagree with me and say, oh, Prince, the world is different now. Well, I don't know what world they're living in, but the Creator's world don't change. The responsibility of the burden always falls on the man, always. And if you think the world is different, tell your future wife that you ain't got no job and see if you get married. Oh, you ain't got no job? Tell her parents that. I don't work nowhere. I'm a bum on the corner. I hang with my friends. I play video games all day. Tell them that and see if they accept you in your family. If the world has changed so much.
I tell you.
There's a lot of guys who would rather their women go out and work while they sit home and do nothing. There's a lot of guys, and I use my words correctly, there's a lot of guys who do that. But a man could never do that. If a man can't find a job and his wife got a job, more power to it. I understand. But he's looking, he's trying to create something. He's trying to come up. Real men operate like that. But this joker's sitting home chilling and ain't even out trying to do better, you got yourself a problem and not a man. Yeah. That's right. She will get more in her masculine at that point. That's right. And that's why it's not good that a woman go work anywhere for anything. She shouldn't have to work unless she has to work. Sometimes the man might get hurt or the man can't find no job, no employment, because this world is designed against the black man, whether y'all understand it or not. Sometimes that's a reality. So he has to get creative and do what he has to do to make things happen for him and his family. Sometimes his woman is the only source of income for the family because life is so difficult for the man. I understand that. But you will know the difference between a man that's using you and a man that's using you. Be a woman that a man uses to make life better for the family, as opposed to a man that uses a woman just to be using a woman because he's a bum. There's a difference. All right. So it's now 5 o'clock, family. It's that time. And the next chapter that we have is 47, which is 31 verses. So I'm gonna say we don't do it, but as always, it's up to y'all, whatever y'all say y'all want to do. So what do y'all want to do? We want to cut it short and wait till next week to finish it up? Or do you want to go ahead and get this next chapter in? What's that?
Keep going.
That'll be the 3rd chapter. All right. We usually do 3 a week. So y'all tell me what y'all want to do. I got one, say keep going. All right. Anyone else? Look at him scared to say, no, Prince, we had enough. Look at him scared. Okay, who said that? Continue. We got 2 continues.
Let's go.
All right, let's go. That's 3. All right, one more. Let's go. And we out. We going.
Let's go.
Oh, that's a cheat. That was his wife. All right, let's go, y'all. We're going to do this last one. Sister Ornita, you up to it?
Okay.
Anybody that can't hang, y'all can drop out now or forever hold your peace. Y'all like the way I put that, don't y'all? I know. Let's rock.
Reading from Genesis chapter 48, verse 1.
48?
Oh, slick on, hold on. 47, slick on.
Okay, there we go.
Reading from Genesis chapter 47, verse 1. Then Joseph came and told Pharaoh and said, my father and my brethren and their flocks and their herds and all that they have are come out of the land of Canaan. And behold, they are in the land of Goshen. And he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and presented them unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto his brethren, what is your occupation? And they said unto Pharaoh, thy servants are shepherds, both we and also our fathers. They said, moreover, unto Pharaoh, to sojourn in the land are we come, for thy servants have no pasture for their flocks. For the famine is severe in the land of Canaan. Now therefore, we pray thee, let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen. And Pharaoh spoke unto Joseph, saying, thy father and thy brethren are come unto thee. The land of Egypt is before thee. In the best of the land, make thy father and brethren to dwell. In the land of Goshen, let them dwell. And if thou knowest any able men among them, then make them rulers over my cattle. And Joseph brought in Jacob, his father, and set him before Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh.
And what happened? And who blessed Pharaoh?
Jacob blessed Pharaoh.
A righteous man has the ability to bless another man. You know, some people teach that only the Creator can bless people, but that's not true. The Most High gives that ability to you as a righteous man. Job blessed those 3 men that came to sit with him. The Creator said, go to Job and ask Job to pray for you. For him I will hear. See, the Most High said, I'll hear Job, but I ain't trying to hear y'all. A righteous man has the ability to bless individuals. If you've been watching this story as we've been reading all these weeks, Abraham blessed, Isaac blessed, and now Yisrael is blessing. Read on, please.
Verse 8. And Pharaoh said unto Jacob, how old art thou?
Here's
And
the
Jacob,
part. Pay attention. Pharaoh said to Jacob, how old are you? And watch what Jacob says.
verse 9. And Jacob said unto Pharaoh, the days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years.
What is a pilgrimage?
His journey.
So this shows that our father knew that this wasn't the end of his life. He was just here temporarily. He understood that, and that he will be passing on to the next dimension of time. He knew this. He said, the days of my journey, of my pilgrimage right here at this particular time are 130 years, 130 years. He's still gonna live a little longer, but 130 years. Read on. Few and evil.
Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and have not attained unto the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage.
He says, I didn't live halfway as long. I ain't gonna say halfway. I didn't live as long as my fathers in the days of their journey. They lived longer than me. I only had a few days, and those days that I had were full of evil times. Think about it. He went through a whole lot. He got defrauded by his father-in-law. He got accused of thievery. He was afraid of his brother. His brother was trying to kill him. He thought his brother was trying to kill him. But at one point, his brother was trying to kill him. But when he thought his brother was trying to kill him the second time, it wasn't so. His son slept with his wife. He got a whole lot of things that he could talk about. And a lot of things in his life are not written. His sons went out and killed all those men of the city after he married his daughter off to the man. A whole lot of things took place in his life that he considered to be evil. He says, my days are few. I would love to see 130 years in this life. I wouldn't consider that to be few at that time. I'll be like, yeah, I had a long life. Most people today would accept that as a long life. But because his forefathers were living to be 150, 160, 200 years old even, he saw that as few. That's like right now, somebody dying at 35. when they still had about 60, 70, even 80 more years to go. They died at 35, that's a few years. Read on, please. 10, 11,
We're on verse 10.
10, okay.
And Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from before Pharaoh. And Joseph placed his father and his brethren and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, in the land of Ramesses, as Pharaoh had commanded.
Now, one of the things that comes to mind that I just want to mention, what do you give a man that has everything? When you come into a man's house and he already super rich, he already has everything, what kind of gift could you give him?
Probably your time,
That
your
would be,
loyalty.
that would be a good thing. What did Joseph give him?
What did Joseph?
Food.
Yeah, he was loyal to him.
I mean, what did Israel, Jake, give Pharaoh?
Blessing.
Something that he can't buy with money.
Blessing.
A blessing. That's right.
Mhm.
And so do you have the ability to do so. We have to get in the traditions and customs of our forefathers. And when you meet a man that you know this man got everything that the world could give him, think to yourself, how could you give him something that he doesn't already have? So you give him a blessing from the Creator upon his life. You might bring him peace. You might heal him of some sicknesses, but you give him a blessing. And that's something that you can't buy with money. He couldn't buy that with money. But you have the ability as a servant of the Most High to bless that man with that. People don't even give out blessings today anymore like they used to. They don't even do that. Do you know that when you greet somebody and you say shalom, that's what that is? It's a blessing. Shalom means peace be unto you. That's what it means. You don't have to say the whole word, shalom lekah. Just say shalom, peace. Peace to who? Peace to you. That's what it means. That's giving somebody a blessing. We don't even know what we're doing when we say shalom to somebody. It has become a generic term now. So a colloquial form of a greeting that we utilize today. But our forefathers met each other, go in peace. May the Most High be with you. This is how our forefathers met and greeted and left each other with those words and salutation unto each other, giving blessings and blessings and blessings upon each other when they meet and when they departed. We have lost the ancient ways today. We have lost that. We don't know how to do that today. And the portion that we do, that energy doesn't come from within. It's just something that we learn to say. Just like those words they say, I love you. People have learned to say I love you when they hang up the phone from talking to people now. Come on, bro. Do you really love me? Would you? Do you? Can you? No, they don't. But they've learned this. This is the norm for people to say, which is a good start in moving in the right direction. But you have to understand what you're saying. The energy has to be behind it. And you have to be willing to show that you really are willing to sacrifice and make risk and take chances for people before you tell that person, that thing. And a lot of people are not willing to make those risks and take those chances, but yet they'll quickly say, I love you, and be on with it. And then next year, they fighting and accusing you of things and beating you down and trying to take your life and trying to disrespect you. But there's the same people that 2 years ago and a year ago said that they loved you. Come on now, let's be real. That's not what love does. Love doesn't change. Love is forever. Read on, sis. Salutations are important, how we greet each other. May the Most High be with you. That's a blessing upon a blessing. To have the Most High with you is a powerful thing. Peace, shalom lekah, shalom lak. Those are some powerful things. Shalom lekim. Those are some powerful things. And that's how we should learn to greet each other. But now that we do it, we know what we're doing. Not just, we just doing it just to be doing it and just to say it. We doing it because we mean it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sis. You got the flow.
Reading from Genesis chapter 47, verse 12. And Joseph nourished his father and his brethren and all his father's household with bread according to their families. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very severe, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all of the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the grain which they bought, and Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And when the money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, Give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth. And Joseph said, Give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fail. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for the flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, and for the asses. And he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year. When that year was ended, they came unto him the second year, and said unto him, We will not hide it from my lord how our money is spent. My lord also has our herds of cattle. There is not anything left in the sight of my lord, but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh. And give us seed, that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate.
Now stop for a second. This is showing us that there will come a time, or there can come a time, and it should be letting us know that there is coming a time where your money will fail you. There will be no need for money. And people are going to be running through the streets trying to harm you and hurt you and take what you have, to do you injustice, to get what you have and give it to themselves. This chapter here lets us know that when famine comes, people will do some things that they wouldn't normally do. And we're living in a time right now today where all around us, they're saying that the food shortages are coming. And how are we preparing for it? We're going on with business as if nothing's happening. We're going on normally. We get up every day, we go to work, we go to the club, we drink beer, we smoke some weed, smoke some cigarettes, go party a little bit, go to a baby shower, go to a birthday party. We act just like we're not in captivity, like we're not in slavery, like we ain't got to worry in the world, like we back in the homeland. We're enjoying life. This is not the time to enjoy life, fam. This is the time to prepare for the worst, so that when it happens, you're not left out in the dark. We too busy trying to have fun right now. Every other weekend, my children going to a party somewhere, living it up with their friends, partying, jamming. We're not even considering what's going to happen to us next month, next week, even tomorrow. We're not even considering those things. We living it up, trying to have all the fun we can have. This chapter right here should be a reflection to you and your spirit about what's ready to befall us. How all these people had to sell themselves, sell their land, and all that stuff just to be able to live. People were dying in the streets. It's going to happen again. Unlike any other time, We're closer to that right now than ever before. And money ain't gonna be able to save you. You know what's gonna save you? The wisdom that you have contained inside of you. Learning how to eat off the land. Learning how to prepare your food ahead of time by growing your stock. Now let's think for a second. If we got a community, right? And we grow our own food. Everybody got their own garden in the back of their house. Plus we got a community garden that others look over. All this is on our land. And a famine break out. We'll be able to eat, but how long will we be able to eat? I don't mean how long we'll be able to eat because we might run out of food. I'm saying, how long are we going to be able to eat before the robbers come in and take what we have and kill us, beat us down, or destroy us? See, we can have our own land, but we have to have some kind of security. We have to know how to defend what we have and to protect what we have, because you can run out of bullets. They can kill your animals, your dogs, because we got guard dogs and stuff. They can kill all them. We can run out of bullets. Can you fight combat with your hands? Do you know arts? Do you know martial arts where you can defend yourself? See, if you don't know these things, do you know how to use a bow and arrow? Do you know how to use a sword, a machete, a knife? Do you even know the art of using a knife? See, these are the things that leadership thinks about, and leadership teaches the people these things so that when these times come, you know how to utilize them. When warfare comes, you're prepared for war, but nobody would ever suspect that of you because you're dainty. Your dress goes to the ground with fringes on the bottom. Your hair is slicked back and you're looking good, silky sweet as a woman. You're sharp, and they would never expect you to hit them in the throat, hit them in the temples, up underneath of the gut. They would never expect those things from you until the time came that you had to execute. And you never have to execute until you have to execute. We don't want y'all being a part of a community and you can't defend yourself. You fat, you out of shape, you overweight, you can't run, you can't fight, you can't do anything. No, we're gonna teach you how to be sharp. This ain't just a thing where we're gonna come together and say, oh, creator, you got us, creator. Just look after us, creator. No, we're gonna utilize the creator to the utmost. We're gonna ask the Most High to bless our minds, our spirit, our body, everything about us. Teach us the art of warfare. Bless our hands. Bless our minds that we know the articulation of our fingers and the side posts of our arms and our hands, that when we need to utilize them, that they're there for us. We're not playing. We're for real about this. This is how you build a community. Your community has to be able to be policing itself. We have to have brothers and sisters on security. We have to have all it, not sisters are not on security. Brothers are on security. A 24-hour security is what we have to have. We have to. We used to have that in Goshen, where certain brothers get up every night and walk around. I was the only one getting up, walking around. Me and my dog get up two, 3 times throughout the night and walk around the whole land just to make sure nobody wasn't creeping up. That military mindset is in my mind. It's there. And I've never been in the Army or the armed forces, but it's there. And that's how I see things, and that's how I would have things again. We have to police our own. We have to look after our own. We can't expect nobody else to do it for us. We have to do it. And if our men fail because we died fighting, our sisters have to be able to pick up the battalion and fight the fight, protect the children and themselves. And that's what we plan on doing. We're not going to have you boo-hooing, oh, I can't help myself. No, it don't go like that. Read on, sis.
Reading from Genesis chapter 47, verse 20. And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for the Egyptians sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's.
They sold their land. Read on.
And as for the people, he removed them to cities from one end of the borders of Egypt, even to the other end thereof.
He bought their land and moved them out and moved them into the cities. Read on.
Verse 22. Only the land of the priest bought he not, for the priest had a portion assigned them by Pharaoh, and did eat their portion which Pharaoh gave them, wherefore they sold not their lands. Then Joseph said unto the people, Behold, I have bought you this day and your land for Pharaoh. Lo, here it seed for you, and ye shall sow the land.
You should what?
You shall sow the land.
Now, Joseph was a special man. He didn't skim none off the top for himself. He was loyal and dedicated to Pharaoh. He could have took some of that land and skimmed some and did some side deals and kept some of that stuff for himself, but he didn't. Everything he did for Pharaoh. Read on, please. That's some loyal brothers in this. That's some serious stuff. Those are the kind of people you need in your circle, loyal individuals. That's going to be about it. Read on.
Verse 24. And it shall come to pass in the harvest that ye shall give the 5th part unto Pharaoh, and 4 parts shall be your own, for seed of the field, and for your food, and for them of your households, and for food for your little ones. And they said, Thou hast saved our lives. Let us find grace in the sight of my Lord, and we will be Pharaoh's servants.
Now, they just said Joseph saved their lives, but yet they said, we will be Pharaoh's servants. Not your servants, Joseph, but Pharaoh's servants. See, Joseph didn't look for anything for himself. He directed everything back to Pharaoh as a loyal subject should. Read on.
Verse 26. And Joseph made it a law over the land of And Joseph made it a law over the land of Egypt unto this day, that Pharaoh should have the 5th part, except the land of the priest only, which became not Pharaoh's. And Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt, in the country of Goshen, and they had possessions therein, and grew and multiplied exceedingly. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years. So the whole age of Jacob was 147 years.
147 years. He lived 17 years in Egypt. He thought he was about to die, but now he about to die. Read on.
Verse 29. And the time drew near that Israel must die. And he called his son Joseph and said unto him, If now I have found grace in thy sight, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and deal kindly and truly with me. Bury me not, I pray thee, in Egypt.
Where do you say put his hand at?
Under my thigh.
Put your hand under my thigh. Whenever a man make an oath and he wants you, he means business, that's what he'll ask you to do. Because if you don't mean business, you ain't gonna do it. Put your hand under my thigh and swear this oath unto me.
Verse 30. But I will lie with my fathers, and thou shalt carry me out of Egypt, and bury me in their burying place. And he said, I will do as thou hast said. And he said, Swear unto me. And he swore unto him. And Israel bowed himself upon the bed's head.
Wow. It's some deep stuff, man. It really is. It's some honorable stuff. That's how our forefathers were. You know, our forefathers didn't want to do anything that was going to bring them a bad name, where people look funny at them or sideways at them. Their name was everything to them. And that's how we have to be again. When people say Beulah land, I mean, it should bring about a certain spirit upon the individual. They'd be like, yo, that place is like paradise. Have you ever visited them brothers and sisters over there? Man, it's beautiful over there. Well, man, ain't nowhere but in Georgia. I know, man, but it's like if it ain't even in Georgia. It's a beautiful place. The brothers are so kind. The children are so respectful. Everybody just so good there. I can't wait till they let me get my pass so I can come to there. It's going to take a certain mindset to be in our company on that level. Everybody say they want to be in Beulah land, ain't going to be able to be in Beulah land. Just because they say they want to be there don't mean nothing. They have to show and prove that they're worthy. Because what we about to do, matter of fact, what we doing is something that's going to be record breaking. It's going to go down throughout history for 30, 40 generations to come, if not 50 to 100. It's going to go down in history for many generations to come, because we building something for not just our children, not just our grandchildren, but our great grandchildren, many years to come. And that's what we're doing. All right, family, now the question and answer times. Are there any questions? Wonderful reading today, wonderful reading. So now let's see if there are any questions. Are there any questions, anyone?
I had a question.
Yes.
Back in chapter 46 at the end, where it says verse 34 that you shall say, I think Joseph was telling his brothers what they would say to Pharaoh, what their work was. Your servant's occupation has been with livestock from our youth until now, both we and also our forefathers, that you may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination to the Egyptians. What did that mean? The abomination part?
You remember when we was reading earlier, they said that the Egyptians don't eat with the Hebrews?
Mm-hmm.
They had to separate because we ate things they didn't eat. That's an abomination.
Okay.
So that's what it meant. There's certain things that the Hebrews do that the Egyptians don't do. Like the Egyptians worship their animals. We didn't.
Oh, that's right.
We
So
ate their
Pharaoh,
gods.
right. So Pharaoh was okay with letting them stay in Egypt and still serve the Most High because he knew that they were Hebrews.
Yes, he was. He knew that it was the Most High that saved Egypt. Because the Most High worked. First, the Most High gave him the dreams. And then the Most High worked through Joseph to interpret those dreams and prepare him for exactly what happened. When he saw that famine taking place, then he knew without a shadow of a doubt that the Most High had a special people, and that Joseph was one of them. Are there any other questions? All right, since there are no more questions, y'all been a lovely audience. Thank you very much. I pray that you all have learned something today, something to take with you, something to increase in your and expound in your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, something that you can take with you that help alter your behavior and the way that you conduct yourself in these streets out here in this world. Brittany, would you like to make prayer and close us out? Are you ready for that, sis?
I don't think I'm ready.
Okay, no problem. No
But
problem.
thank you.
No problem. You're welcome. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. All right. Anyone else would like to close us out in prayer?
I can.
You do it all the time, man. Let's see if we can find somebody else first.
Okay.
Would anybody else like to close us out in prayer? Make sure your phone is not on mute if you're speaking.
Maisha said she will.
Oh, Yesha? Okay. Tell her about.
Hallelujah. Gorenu, Malkinu, Abinu, we humbly come before you, asking to approach your throne. Come before you, asking that you would forgive us of any uncleanliness, whether it be spiritual, physical, or mental. Come before you, saying Toda Rabah for allowing us to be able to gather and allowing us to be able to be endowed with wisdom on today. Toda Rabah for everything that we were able to learn, everywhere that we were able to receive wisdom, growth, and development for our personal lives, as well as the lives as for those around us. As it is commanded for us to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. Toda Rabah for teaching us how to love ourselves so we can love those around us. We praise you for everything that you've done We ask that you continue to protect us and keep us and allow us to grow as a community. We praise you and give you all the glory and all the esteem. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right. Well, I tell you, boy, it's such a blessing to have beautiful people in your midst, man. That when they speak, you feel the presence of the Most High in their words. That's good. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. So before we close out, are there any questions, any comments? Anyone want to mention anything?
Sure, I would love to mention that this morning, actually in the early part of the morning, we went down to -21. And as I went into the kitchen, I discovered that the hot water pipe, not a drip, was frozen. I left it open. I put a heater up under there, and I've been monitoring it all day. And this evening, maybe around 4 or sometime around there, I discovered that that heater cranked out. So I put another one under there. And in no time before 5, it was cleared up. So I am so happy that that was water. I actually, as I walked out in the hallway, I say, I'm hearing water running. Is that? As I turned, sure enough, the hot water pipe had freed up. So I'm thankful for that.
May the Most High be praised.
Hallelujah. Praise his name.
All right, don't go anywhere, sis.